It wasn't always this way. In fact, there have been many times when it was the reverse. But this is how it is today. Newt Gingrich was giddy in his self-righteous moralizing in pursuit of bringing down Bill Clinton following the 1994 midterm election that put Republicans in charge of Congress. He was thrilled that Ken Starr was investigating the Clintons, looking for anything indictable. You know, witch hunting? Starr investigated the suicide death of Vince Foster, deputy White House counsel, and found no wrongdoing by the Clintons. He looked into the Whitewater land deal in Arkansas and found a dumb investment, but no wrongdoing. This pattern persisted through the investigation of the White House Travel Office, accusations of tampering with FBI files, the Rose Law Firm, Paula Jones, Madison Guaranty Savings and Loan, and hints that they did not believe in the Easter Bunny. No criminal wrongdoing was found. None. Then, quite apart from Starr's efforts, Bill Clinton's sexual affair with Monica Lewinsky dropped into Starr's lap. Starr managed to set Clinton up in an embarrassing way, and Clinton lied to avoid embarrassment. Presto! Something indictable. The relentless, pointless, moralizing pursuit by Starr and a very aggressive Republican Congress had paid off. Later, Barack Obama was elected president and the games began anew. On the night of Obama's electoral victory, Mitch McConnell and a handful of Republican vigilantes sat in a D.C. restaurant scheming about what they would do to bring Obama down. Their plan was to oppose anything Obama supported, regardless of merit or value to the public, or even whether the issue had previously been championed by Republicans. McConnell even went public, declaring the new Republican holy mantra that job number one was to ensure that Barack Obama would be a one-term president. Jobs for Americans wasn't number one. Neither was stabilizing our economy that was cratering and in peril of free falling into a terrible economic depression. Not even national security was number one. When Joe Wilson yelled, "You lie," at Obama during a speech to a joint session of Congress in September 2009, most Republicans were eerily silent or mealy-mouthed about Wilson's violation of congressional decorum and his galactic stupidity. To be fair, he did get censured. The Affordable Care Act passed on a straight party line vote in March 2010 when Democrats controlled Congress and had just enough votes to prevent a Republican filibuster. Then the 2010 midterm election put control of Congress back in the hands of Republicans, and the wheels of government immediately ground to a halt in accordance with the dictum of the McConnell vigilantes. That was okay for the Republicans, and they took great joy in criticizing Obama for failure to accomplish anything except what was done by executive order. The Republicans loved to brave that the executive orders were unconstitutional, yet it was their own obstruction that made them necessary. And all the while, the Republicans were deafeningly silent when the birther lies began and have largely stayed that way even to the present. Another outfall of the 2010 midterm election was that Darrell Issa became chair of the House Oversight Committee. He promised to hold hundreds of investigations into the Obama administration. Likely you remember his investigation into the birth control requirements of the ACA, a hearing at which he refused to allow any women, including Sandra Fluke, to testify before the all-male committee. This is the same Darrell Issa who wouldn't allow Elijah Cummings to make a statement. He cut off his microphone. The Republicans held 7 investigations into the Benghazi tragedy in failed attempts to lay blame on Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. They didn't hold those hearings to learn the truth. The facts were already well known. They held them to sustain a smear campaign into the 2016 election. This is the post-truth Republican world, where accusation has the same weight as fact and where Rudy Giuliani is free to tell us truth isn't truth. There are through-the-looking-glass untruths, all of that brutal obstruction and false allegations, the relentless smears, and the rest were okay for Republicans. Now things have changed. Democrats are in control of the House. and will be able to do the investigations that should have already happened. Impeachment over obstruction of justice and repeated violations of the Emoluments Clause screams for attention. And in this environment of obvious Trump felonious activities, combined with 2 years of Republican-led protection of Trump and the refusal to dig for truth, Republicans are now telling Democrats to play nice. They mustn't overreach. Don't pile on. Don't start impeachment proceedings because the Republicans will spray paint cable news with moralized pronouncements of Democratic excess and meanness. Clearly, it's okay for Republicans to thump Bibles of righteousness and do any mean-spirited thing in pursuit of their advantage. That's somehow good and right. Now, if we're to believe them, Democrats have to play nice like little girls at a make-believe luncheon for their dolls. Get ready for this moralizing double standard. It's already started. I'll say it again. There have been times when party positions and practices were the reverse of this. To pretend that's what matters now, though, is to ignore the dire reality before us. We have entered a time when majorities of our citizenry willfully believe patently false things all the time. They have been fed a steady diet of lying propaganda for so long that they no longer question anything. It is the triumph of the big lie. Our responsibility right now is to call it out, to fight the fraud. If instead we sit on our hands, we will welcome George Orwell's dystopian future. This time it falls to the Democrats to unmask the big lie, and it's up to you and me to make certain that they do. To get started, click the link at the end of the written post. I'm Jack Altshuler.